Let me ask you something quietly. What is it really costing you to stay out of alignment? Not in dollars, but in your peace, in clarity, in time you'll never get back. You see, sometimes the biggest price we pay isn't failure. It's success in the wrong direction. Misalignment doesn't always look like failure. Sometimes it looks like progress, but in a direction you were never meant to go. You're working hard and people are applauding you. Money is flowing in, but your spirit feels unsettled. That's the first sign. Because misalignment will often feel like you constantly striving, and no matter how much you achieve, you still find yourself on the wheel. You are restless, even in success. You are finding yourself caught up in this fog, confusion when making decisions. You're feeling unseen even when you're in public places. You're experiencing repeated delays that no amount of effort can fix. Sometimes, misalignment shows up in the form of burnout, anxiety, or a quiet knowing that this is not it. Proverbs 14 verse 12 reminds us that there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. That's not just about physical death, by the way. That could be the slow death of your vision, of joy, of time. Because what looks right on the surface might be completely off course in God's eyes. So you really, really have to reflect. You really have to pause and ask yourself, am I building something that's feeding my ego but starving my soul? You must reflect. Once you find yourself in that position, you cannot think that you are going to continually hit your head against the wall and somehow, some way, it is the wall that is going to hurt. It is your head. You have to ask the right questions to get the right answers. So pause and ask, what is it that I've been building this whole time? And if I'm truly applying the divine principles, then why am I not seeing divine results? Am I ignoring the signs just to keep up an image? You have to ask yourself that question. In fact, that is one of the most important questions that you should ask yourself. Have I allowed people's expectations to become louder than God's direction? God's direction is always going to lead us to the right destination. You should not give in to people's expectations, quieting out God's voice, which is meant to lead you towards the path of safety. Because sometimes God is not silent. You're just too busy to hear him. Realignment takes courage, though. Really. It might mean stopping a project completely. It might even mean you leaving a relationship. It might mean you have to rethink the entire business. And as you can see, it definitely does take courage. You cannot be caught up in your ego. You have to accept that you have to let go if you truly want to grow. But you know what's worse than starting over? Staying stuck in the wrong assignment. This season, God is calling many back to the blueprint, back to purpose, back to peace. And the moment you choose to realign, grace will meet you there. Heaven will back you up. Doors will close to protect you and open to direct you. Yes, you don't need another hustle strategy. You need divine direction. You have to realize that it doesn't matter how good you think you strategize. You have to be conscious and pay attention to the little signs. I'm sure you are probably familiar with the story of Jonah in the Bible. You get to see that God had a purpose that was aligned for Jonah. Jonah wanted to live by his own terms. He wanted to do what he felt was right by his own conscience. But you also get to see that no matter how hard Jonah tried to go against the divine will, in the end, he had to align himself with the divine will. There was just no way escaping it. There was no way getting out of it. Examine your life. Ask yourself, could that story be applicable to your situation? Is God calling you to do something that would give him the glory, where you are so caught up in your own ambition that you are not seeing, you're not hearing his voice, or maybe you're hearing it, but you're ignoring it because to you, you feel like you know the way. You are trusting in your own strategy. You strategize, you plan, you try to execute, but it doesn't fall in alignment. You must question. You must do some introspection. You must even go to the divine himself. You must go even to God himself. You must ask him, Father, I have been working hard. I feel like I have been doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I even pray, and I always subject to you everything I am working on. But I am not getting the results that I'm expecting to get. What is it that I might be doing wrong? Maybe I am not understanding the blueprint that you have for me. Can you please make it known to me? That way it'll be your will that is done. That way I be fulfilling a purpose that is in alignment with your will. Sometimes, in fact, all the time, we have to always consult the divine. That way we don't end up like Jonah, looking to flee from our purpose. Meanwhile, our purpose is chasing us everywhere that we go. You see, we're going to conclude this. We're going to conclude this episode. We have to conclude this on the right foot, on the right note. We have to apply discernment. We have to make sure that we stay on the divine assignment, even if you feel lost, even if you're feeling like you off track, even if you feel like you don't know what the next step is going to be. You have to trust that the divine is in full control, that the divine will get you to be in alignment to fulfill the assignment. Yes. So today, reflect on all that you've been putting together. Reflect on your hard work. Reflect on your job. Reflect on your positioning. Reflect on everything. And if you do feel like you are out of alignment, then you must ask the right questions. What is misalignment costing me? And am I ready to come back home? Are you ready to come back home? Am I ready to come back home? Please do subscribe now to the channel. Tap into your spirit and follow us at the Divine Blueprints Co. for daily guidance. This is the Divine Blueprints Co., where clarity, calling, and kingdom collide. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, and stay blessed.